Hello, welcome to another episode of the Go F Yourself podcast. My name is Eric, your lovely host. I want to start straight off the bat here with fucking Star Wars. I'm gonna ignore the fact I promised you guys 25 episodes by the end of this month, because that's not gonna happen. I've been busy. I haven't been to work. I've taken a vacation of sorts. I've been doing some things, new things, old things, just taking care of stuff, you know. It was the birthday of someone very dear to me, so I had to spend time with them. And outside of that, I've just been digging around. I finally found time to record an episode for the podcast while I'm doing my laundry. So if you hear any noise, it's probably my laundry. My machine's spinning right now. You know the works. Anyway, let me jump right into Star Wars, because Obi-Wan finished, and somebody asked me a question on Instagram. Do I think Reva's coming back? And what are my thoughts on Reva? And immediately I replied to that question like, that's a completely podcast type of question. I need some time to talk about it. So let's start with Reva. If you guys watched Obi-Wan, she is the fifth sister, or the third sister, whatever the fuck she is. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really care about her. I care about her, but I don't care about her. So remember, if she's the fifth, the third, she's Reva to me. Okay, that's all I remember. Fuck yourselves. She is important. It is revealed towards the end of the season. If you're watching this, by the way, completely, before I even start, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I'm gonna fucking give you the whole story to Obi-Wan right now, pretty much. So, she was a Padawan. She was a youngling. Well, she was a youngling on the way to become a Padawan, and she was at the Jedi Temple when Anakin Skywalker stormed it and killed all the younglings. Now, if you haven't watched Star Wars before, and you don't know who Anakin Skywalker is, that's Darth Vader. And he participated in something called Order 66, where he goes and killed everybody. Kills all the Jedi that he can find, specifically the children at the Jedi Temple, which, if you know anything, children are the future. So how do you destroy the Jedi? By destroying their future. So he showed up to the Jedi Temple with a bunch of clone troopers and did his business. Killed a bunch of kids. Heroic stuff. Fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. I know maybe this isn't the right time to talk about killing kids, but fuck them. Right? Fuck the kids. Right? Anyway, Reva's one of the children he thinks he kills. However, she's a youngling. So we learn that she is force sensitive, and she obviously is angry, hurt. And if you guys know anything about Star Wars, anger, fear, all that stuff is what you have on the path to the dark side. So she was already going to the dark side, and it was the Jedi Temple's job, or whoever was instructing her in the Jedi Temple, to lead her towards the Jedi way as opposed to the way of the Sith. Now, obviously, Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader goes in there, kills everybody. That pisses her off, that makes her angry, that makes her scared. Through her anger and her fear, she manages to stay alive after getting stabbed by Anakin Skywalker. She stays alive, she finds her way into the Empire's, close circle, and she becomes an Inquisitor. Now, this is a whole story I'm gonna go with. We'll call this the Star Wars episode, or the Obi-Wan episode, I guess. Now, if you guys know anything about Inquisitions, very famously, historically, not like Star Wars, but like real life, like the Spanish Inquisition or the Catholic Inquisition, where, the Catholic Church was visiting places, telling people, you're either a Catholic or we kill you. So, in this case, the Inquisitors in Star Wars, they go around hunting Jedi. So you're either part of the Empire and not a Jedi, or you're a Jedi and we kill you. So their main focus is to hunt Jedi and make sure there are no Force-sensitive people around. And if there are Force-sensitive people that are willing to join the Inquisitors, then they do. But that's a whole other realm, right? You need to know the backstory. You need to watch Star Wars Rebels for that. That's just like a brief summary of what Inquisitors are. So she becomes an Inquisitor. She hunts Jedi with other Inquisitors. She's obsessed with getting close to Darth Vader. Now, you don't know why when you start watching the show, but towards the end it's revealed because she wants to kill Darth Vader. She, in her memory, Darth Vader tried to kill her, killed her friends. She wants this revenge, and she's slowly working her way up the ranks so that she can get her revenge on Darth Vader. And when Obi-Wan presents her the idea of, like, why don't you help me, she sees that as her chance to get revenge on Darth Vader. So she helps Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan retreats into, in this part of the episode, they're a rebel base now. Well, I mean, it's not a rebel base yet. They're not rebels yet, but it's a bunch of people who are not Empire friendly, trying to escape the Empire. And of course, stormtroopers are there, and Darth Vader shows up, and Reva tells him, oh, he went into the cave. And then Darth Vader's like, I'll go in myself. So Darth Vader goes in there. Obi-Wan tricks him and escapes with all the people, and Darth Vader's left there to ponder and remember and reminisce, like, damn, this motherfucker tricked me because he knows me. And then Reva thinks she's being sneaky and tries to kill Darth Vader. Now, that fight between Reva and Darth Vader, that is like a showcase of how powerful Darth Vader is compared to other Force-sensitive people. Now, if you guys watch the show, you guys see the final battle, Obi-Wan bests him. In Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan bests Anakin. But then in Star Wars A New Hope, which is Episode 4, which is 1977, Darth Vader bests Obi-Wan, but only because Obi-Wan lets him. Now, Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker, have been training together forever, or did train together forever, because Anakin Skywalker was Obi-Wan's Padawan. So they know each other, they know each other's fighting styles. That being said, if Darth Vader is the strongest Jedi, or Anakin Skywalker was the strongest Jedi at the time of his turning from the Jedi way to the dark side, then that makes Obi-Wan one of the strongest Jedi because he trained him. So when you see Reva fighting Darth Vader doesn't even have to draw his lightsaber. He is, dodging Reva's strikes. Then he takes Reva's lightsaber, and it's a dual lightsaber, so he breaks it in half and tosses her one half like he's playing with his food, like, here. And then ultimately he bests her and stabs her again and leaves her there to die. She does not die. And Reva stays alive again because she's angry, because she's fearful, and usually Force-sensitive people, when they're angry, when they're fearful, we've seen them stay alive, just like the Grand Inquisitor stayed alive after Reva stabbed him, or just like Darth Maul stayed alive after he got cut in half. Now, you don't see this kind of stuff happening with Force-sensitive people who are following the Jedi way, because staying alive after death is more like a Sith way of life than a Jedi way of life. Qui-Gon learns how to stay alive through the Force. And remember, Jedi are really big on the Force, whereas Sith people are really big on themselves. They, like Darth Sidious, right? Palpatine, he wants to stay alive forever. He tries to reach immortality, and for a minute there he does. Until, you don't watch Star Wars, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm sorry if you're listening to this episode. I'm getting really deep and nerdy in this bitch. But anyway, the question was, do I think Reva will come back? Maybe. They did leave that open. I don't know. I haven't researched to see if there's a show coming up with her in it, or if she's getting her own show, or what. I do know that at the end, right, Obi-Wan tells her, well, now you're free right now, whatever you become is up to you. So she stays alive. We know this. So that means from the end of Obi-Wan, which is when Luke Skywalker is 10 years old, into the future, she is alive. She is somewhere. Maybe still on Tatooine. Maybe she left Tatooine. You don't know this. You don't know this. You're left to think, and they're left with room to make a show, to include her in something in the future, because you ultimately, you know she exists, you just don't know what happened to her. What do I think of her? I think she was important. She was important for the audience, especially the new audience, people who are just getting into Star Wars with the recent shows and with the recent material that Disney's put out, because a lot of people don't understand people's obsession with Darth Vader. And I mean, obviously I love Darth Vader, but people don't understand how powerful he is. Well, bringing Reva into the picture and having her fight him showcases how powerful he is compared to already powerful Force-sensitive people, because we know Reva's an Inquisitor. She hunts Jedi. That means she's more powerful than a lot of these other Force-sensitive people. She kills the Grand Inquisitor, so the Grand Inquisitor is obviously the best Inquisitor, and she surprise kills him or whatever. But she shows that she's a very powerful Force-sensitive person, and then Darth Vader shows, like, you're nothing compared to me. And then later on you see Obi-Wan completely demolish Darth Vader. But again, once again, they train together. They know everything about each other. And more so, Obi-Wan has the upper hand because he taught him all the strengths. And he knows all his weaknesses. Even if he tried to correct those weaknesses, he knows they're still there. And that's why in A New Hope, they close a lot of gaps with this show. In A New Hope, Darth Vader says something like, I was but a learner, now I'm the master, or whatever the fuck, right? And because he's had those other 10 years to reflect on the fight they had and fix his ways. And also at the end there, Darth Sidious tells Darth Vader, like, are you really focused? Are you really focused on the mission of the Empire? Or is Obi-Wan a distraction? And that's when Darth Vader's like, fuck Obi-Wan then. I'm just going to focus on the Empire's mission, which ultimately we learn in the long run is to keep Darth Sidious immortal. And it might have also been a plan to keep Darth Vader immortal. But, of course, again, if you know Star Wars, Darth Vader ruins that when he betrays Darth Sidious to save his son, which he fulfills a prophecy, okay? The prophecy is that Darth Vader will bring a balance to the Force, okay? He does. That's his prophecy. They just don't know how. Well, he kills Darth Sidious the first time. Did he know Darth Sidious was trying to reach immortality? Maybe. But what was important was that he brought that balance for that time being. Everything that came after that had nothing to do with him and everything to do with Luke and Kylo, which I guess in the grand scheme of things are still Skywalkers. I mean, just remember that Anakin came out of nothing. He's like the Jesus Christ of Star Wars. He just showed up in his mother's womb. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a whole string of things. That's why I said, like, I can't just answer this on Instagram. But I guess the questions were, do I think Reva will come back? Maybe. What did I think about her? Well, I told you what I thought about her. She was important to the show. She was important to showcase Darth Vader's power. She was important to give people a different perspective of Star Wars, the perspective of a victim of the grand scheme. That's what she was. She just was a youngling at the Jedi Temple. She was defenseless against the most powerful Jedi ever. And he was just over there killing kids. Yeah. And that's where we're stopping here. And not the show. I still have 15 minutes to give you guys just a bunch of bullshit. But as far as Star Wars, that's it. I'm done. If you guys don't want to listen to the Star Wars segment, skip the first 15 minutes of this episode. Well, 14 minutes, I guess. 14 minutes and a half. Moving on to grander things. I'm not one to be political, I'm not. But the Supreme Court did do something very fucked up that a lot of people are having opinions over. And you have the people who say, you know, they're pro-lifers. They care about life. My dick, they do, but whatever. And you have people that are pro-choice. Now, I'm very big on choice, because this is America, land of the free, home of the whopper. I'm gonna do what I want, when I want, how I want, wherever I want to. You know, with exceptions for things like murder and stuff like that. Now, people saying abortions are murder. Depends. I guess towards the end, yeah. But that's why there's that rule, right? Where you get an abortion in the first or second trimester or some shit, and you don't have your kid or whatever. For XYZ reason. You know, people don't have kids because they don't have kids. Cool. Abortion. People don't have kids because they got raped. Boom, abortion. People don't have kids because, you know, they'll die if they have the kid and they value their life over the kid's life. Boom, abortion. You know, it is what it is. It's by everyone has their own circumstances as to why they choose to do what they choose to do, and they should be able to do that safely and freely. And now they'll be able to do that safely and freely in a few states as opposed to nationwide. And that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. Now, I live in California, for those of you that don't know. And the governor here already said, you know, fuck the federal government, you know, if it's back to the states. Because essentially that's what it means. That the Supreme Court made this illegal or took it off the Constitution or whatever the fuck. What they're saying is it's up to the states to decide. And California decided, you know, we are an abortion safe haven. If you need to have an abortion, you can come here. And I'm very proud to be in California. And what pisses me off is all these like violent protesters here in the city. Like, calm the fuck down. Like, you really want to protest? Get your ass on a Greyhound and go to one of the red states and fuck up their traffic. Now, I live by a fucking freeway, and let's just say some of these protesters were on the freeway, really killing my vibes, if you know what I mean. Like, I couldn't get home. And I understand, I'm all for protesting and stuff like that. But there's like peaceful protesting, and then that's what they were doing, which wasn't very peaceful. I mean, some people were like rocking cars and all that shit. Go somewhere where it matters. Everyone here is on your side. Suck my dick. Please. Shut the fuck up. Get your ass on a Greyhound. Get your ass on an airplane. Fly your ass to like Washington, D.C. Go to the Supreme Court. Protest out there. Get the fuck off my freeway. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyhow. Again, I'm not want to get political. And it's the only time I'm going to get political right now. That's my stance on it. And before you act like, oh my God, don't even be surprised. I fucking hate children. Fuck them kids. Dead ass. Kill them all. Kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not saying kill all your children now. I'm just saying I'm very against people having more children. And I don't even care about the overpopulation because the world's going to end one day anyway and I'm not going to be here. But it's just like, dude, the world's not getting any better and you guys are still popping out kids? Shut the fuck up. And that's just me. That's what makes you happy and you're going to be a good parent and you're going to raise your kids right. Go ahead. But if it's not the right time, it's not the right time. If you know, you know. And if you feel some type of way about it, that's tough. Okay? Don't look at me, I don't give a fuck. I'm not talking about anyone specifically, I'm just talking about generally. Please stop having children. Anyway, you guys notice I use my hands a lot? I'm a little nervous when I'm on camera. I am on camera, by the way. This is gonna be a YouTube episode and a recorded episode. Excuse me, that was a burp. A little burp. I'm trying not to burp out loud. See? I think we start talking about lighter notes. All I can think about right now is Star Wars and sports. And tattoos. I'm thinking about getting a tattoo. And I would like your guys' opinion on what would be a good tattoo. I don't want anything too crazy. I don't want anything in color. I was thinking like a Misfits skull, or like the Led Zeppelin signs. You know, like Jimmy Page, John Bonham, that John Paul Jones motherfucker, I think his name is. The Robert Plant sign, like, you know, the 4 signs that they have. Two of them look like, well, John Bonham's is like 3 circles, pretty easy. And then the John Paul Jones guy is like a circle and then 3 little ovals. Robert Plant's is a circle with a plant in the middle. And then Jimmy Page's is all complicated. It's like ZOSA, and then it's all stylized a little different. I think that'd be a good idea for a tattoo. If you don't know who Led Zeppelin is, stop listening to my podcast. I'm kidding. Listen to my podcast and then go Spotify, Apple, whatever the fuck you have, YouTube, whatever, and listen to some Led Zeppelin, man. They're pretty cool band. Or the Misfits, or Pink Floyd, The Wall. If you haven't listened to The Wall, listen to The Wall in its entirety, both records, because it's a double album. Listen to The Wall, and then watch The Wall, because there's a movie. Growing up, I was fortunate to have a family with good taste in music, so we listened to Pink Floyd, and they had the movie. So I watched the movie before I listened to the record, and I feel like that ruined it for me. Like, I can't listen to the record without thinking about the movie. I would have liked to listen to the record first, then watch the movie. Because at least if I would have listened to the record first, I would have had my own interpretation of what the music is, or what the song is, or what the message of the music is. But I was a kid, so what the fuck was I supposed to know anyway? But in retrospect, if I could have had the choice, I would have listened to The Wall, then I would have watched the movie, and then I would have put 2 and 2 together and been like, you know, that's not what I thought the song was about, but it's interesting to know that's what the song is about. Because the movie is just the whole record being played, and then like, not like music videos, but it's like a story of some kid growing up, and his dad dies in the war, World War II. And he grows up in the 60s, 70s. Well, he's born in the 40s. Okay, he's born in the mid-40s, early to mid-40s. So he's a kid in the 50s, a teenager in the 60s. He's in his 20s in the 70s, and he goes through this whole thing, and he becomes part of a band, and he has just life experiences, and then he's on one side of the Berlin Wall, and then there's a lot of Nazi references and war references. It's a very World War II themed movie about the fallout, about what happens after. And that's also what the record is about. Like, if you listen to the record, don't let me put ideas in your head. Just, if you haven't listened to The Wall by Pink Floyd, go listen to The Wall by Pink Floyd. Okay? Then come back, watch the movie, and then hit me up. Let's have a discussion. You can't tell, I'm very obsessed with that Pink Floyd album. I think I would say it's my favorite record of all time. I have listened to it from front to back several times. Same thing with Dark Side of the Moon. Same thing with Led Zeppelin 3 and 4. Bunch of records. I'm a big listening to a record from the beginning to the end type of person. It's that CD era thing for me. Because if you skip the song too many times, or you put a song on repeat too many times on your CD player, you'd fucking scratch your disc, right? So, I mean, what the fuck am I doing? And then I got really stupid when I was able to start burning discs, and it's like, okay, I like this song a lot. Let me put it on one disc 10 times, and then let me repeat the disc as opposed to repeating the song. And that would scratch it at a lesser rate than if I repeated the same. It's a whole thing. For those of you that don't know CD life, cool. For those of you that do, maybe you can relate. Maybe you think I'm a dumbass, whatever. Then we got to the digital age, and you can just hit repeat on your Windows XP computer. What a time to be alive. I feel like we've progressed so much technologically with music in my lifetime. It's crazy. Growing up, like when I was like 9, 10, 11, I was listening to the radio with cassettes that I got at the 99-cent store, blank cassettes. And I was recording my favorite songs that came on the radio so I could play them later. And then the radio had different segments, like Tito's Top 4 at 4, and I record that. Or Jonesy's Jukebox on 95.5. Stuff like that. Right? I love the radio. Abraham actually, one of my guests was like, you need to be on the radio. I was like, yeah, right. Like the radio's like a dying art. But is it really? Because I mean, you have Sirius XM now, and then you have all these other personalities and podcast people who aren't really on the radio, but all they do is talk, and people listen. And people are listening to me now, just talking. So I guess it's not a dying art. It took a different medium. It went from radio waves to the internet, and now I can reach more people at whatever time, as opposed to just from like my favorite radio hosts, who are Heidi and Frank, and they only go from 6 to 12 or 6 to 11 in the morning, 6 to 10 in the morning. Like I can only listen to them then unless I subscribe to their website. I can listen to them whenever I want, but I'm giving away my voice for free without subscriptions. That being said, if you guys want to donate to the cause here, there should be a link in the bio of this podcast. I'm trying to work on putting the link on YouTube, see if it works. And yeah, you guys can listen to me there, man. I mean, donate to me there. Again, I'm not doing this really for the money. I'm doing it for fun, but money comes my way, Any horror. We covered a few things, mainly Star Wars. Sorry for those of you that are disappointed. Just for the record, I don't lean right. I don't lean left. I'm a pretty bipartisan type of guy. I'm a George Bush era guy. You know? I'm very patriotic. I love America. I love to be in the United States, but I hate the fucking government for many reasons. Many reasons. If you know, you know. Some of you know me. Some of you guys know what I do for work, and that'll explain why I really hate the government. But I hate the government, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with loving your country and hating the government that operates it. For those of you that do care, go out there, vote, whatever you got to do to get your representatives in. For those of you that don't care, keep not caring. Personally, again, I don't lean right, I don't lean left, I'm pretty in the middle. And I hate Democrats, I hate Republicans, I hate all politicians because they're selfish. None of them work for you, really, unless you make them. And you can only make them by going out to vote. So, that's it. Once again, I love all you guys that listen to me. XOXOXO. For the rest of you, suck my dick while you guys listening to my shit. If you don't like me, I will never understand haters. But the rest of you, thank you, I love you. I'll see you another time. Hopefully I'll record another episode by the end of this week. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know. We'll see where life takes us. All right, bye.